You didn't bring any cats with you though.
I did not. Well, we have some directly across the street. Well, one anyway. So my name is Paul Nickerson. I manage the Cats at Work program at Treehouse Humane Society. This is Sarah List. Cats at Work program is under a broader umbrella called the Community Cats Department. Sarah manages the Community Cats Department. Is everybody aware what a community cat is? Does anybody have any suggestions on what a community cat might be?
Is it where people take care of them? They have cats in the neighborhood? Because I've got them in my neighborhood.
Yeah, it's like a TNR, like trip.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they've got food stations set up for them. Some of them
So
luxurious.
a community cat is kind of an umbrella term. It's a cat that lives outside in the community. And it could be a stray cat that got loose, that got out of the house at one time. Could be a completely feral cat, and feral cat is a term used to describe the social aspect of people. And a completely feral cat is not socialized to people at all. It could be an abandoned cat. You know, a lot of times there could be a caretaker feeding a colony of feral cats, and somebody finds it a convenient place to abandon their house cat or whatever. So that's the umbrella of community cats. And Cats at Work program came about 12 years ago, I think, by now. There was a problem with what to do with these feral cats. So TNR, you mentioned trap, neuter, return. So the way they used to handle the feral cat situation is they used to trap and kill feral cats. And they found that it created a vacuum in nature. When you remove cats from an area, other cats are just going to fill that void. There's resources that support the cats in that area. So with trap, neuter, return, we try to spay and neuter the cats, vaccinate them, and put them back where we trapped them. But oftentimes it's not appropriate to put the cats back. And it could be they're in danger, someone's threatening to kill them, but also construction or a number of other reasons. So what do we do with those cats? The only other option, they're not house cats, they're not cuddly, they won't want to live indoors. So what do we do with those cats? And we used to get a lot of inquiries from warehouses and businesses and stuff that had rodent problems. And it was a natural marriage of these two situations where we have these extra cats and we have these people that want cats to take care of rodent situation. And that's how the Cats at Work program was born. So, a little bit about the rodent problem now. So, the rodent problem is very similar to the cat issue. If you kill rodents and create a vacuum, other rodents are just going to keep filling that void, and it becomes a never-ending revolving door where if you use traps and poisons and everything, it's just going to create an opening for other rodents to come in and fill the void. When you put cats in place, the cats are going to kill a great deal of rodents that are in the area. But what happens is the cats have predator pheromones, and the rats will stay outside of the cat's territory because they can tell there's a predator in place now. And that's why the cats are so successful at getting rid of rats. Are there any questions?
What does animal control do?
So animal control, I think they have a mandate. If you call them, say there's a loose dog or there's a bunch of cats over here, I think they have a mandate that they have to go out and trap it and bring it to Southwestern Avenue.
No, what city department handles rats?
Oh, that's streets and sanitation.
Streets and sand. What do they do?
They come out and they bait. And if you call them and say, hey, I have a rat problem in my alley, they'll survey the alley and they'll come on your property and see if there's any rat burrows, and then they'll put poison pellets on the burrow. And they were experimenting with dry ice, but I don't think that went anywhere.
You're saying that's not effective.
It's not effective because it creates a vacuum in nature. So
Totally unaware of that.
but also, let's just say it worked and it's a magic pill. You can sterilize your property, but when you call Streets and Sand, they need permission from everybody's property to get on there. So they're going to bait your property and your neighbor's property it's not gonna be gated, so the rats are eventually just gonna fill that void left by killing the rats that are on the original property. So, and it's just Mother Nature. They say nature abhors a vacuum, and what you're creating by killing rats with poisons is a vacuum. So, are there any other questions?
So, could you just give an example? Let's say I have a neighbor who has a rat colony, and I call you. What
Yeah.
happens? Can you describe the situation?
So what happens is, and Kate Paris is a client. She lives across the street. They'll call and say, "Hey, I have a rat problem in my area. Can we get cats?" And then, well, it's a process. So I'd like to come out and take a look at it, make sure the property is appropriate to house cats. Some properties aren't. But then I take a look at it, and I also like to just take a look at how bad the rat problem is too. And something that works extremely well to get rid of rats is to take the used kid litter from litter boxes and dump it down the rat burrows, because it's loaded with predator pheromones. And I've had clients tell me that the rats have came running up like 5 minutes after they dumped them down there, like right in front of them. So it only happened once that somebody said that, but generally the rats will abandon the burrows within 24 hours or so if you put kid litter down there. It works better than, they sell in farm supply stores, they sell fox urine and then coyote pee, and so it works the same way. They're predators and they have
That's
predator
some for free.
pheromones.
This just say, it may sound a little gross, human pee? Does that matter? Because I've seen it.
We've seen that thing with the alley, I don't know what that was about.
My answer to that is, let me know how that turned out.
Haven't seen it.
So does this program cost money?
It does. It does. There's a cost involved with placing the cats, and most of the cost involved goes towards the medical of the cats. The cats are spayed and neutered. They're microchipped. They're vaccinated for distemper and rabies. Ear tip, the term, and we'll pass this out at the end, but you'll see it in the picture here. The tip of the left ear is missing. That's how you can tell by sight if a cat's been vaccinated and spayed and neutered already as part of a managed colony. So microchips, ear tips, they give it a flea treatment and everything too. So most of the cost of placing cats goes towards medical, but there is the equipment and the setup and everything, and we make shelters for them. There's heating pads that go in the shelters. So for a 3-cat placement, and generally a typical placement is 3 cats, it's $735. For a 2-cat placement, it's $620, and for a single cat, it's $300.
Is that a month or quarterly or?
No, one time only.
Okay.
And then your costs are you're responsible for the medical if they get sick or whatever, but also daily feeding. You have to feed the cats every day. If you stop feeding the cats, they're going to take off and find somewhere else to be fed.
What can we do to support our existing outdoor cats that probably aren't part of these programs? Do you tips or tricks?
Let us know, and so that they can all get spayed and neutered, and you'll stop the breeding, and it also stops neighbor problems and everything.
That's how I got a kitten last month.
Yeah.
If they have neighborhood cats, would you spay and neuter them and then return them to the same neighborhood so they're?
We always, the last resort is to relocate them, and the cats I work for, unfortunately, I guess for me, is there's always enough cats that need relocation, but we always try to, my director raised it. But there's I've been on vacation for 2 weeks, and this heated up while I was gone. There was a big project that the alderman on the south side was about, I don't remember which one, but there were like 12 cats. And my director was trying to explain to Oz and animal care and control and everything, like, we need to try put these cats back after we spay and neuter them. It's like picking up a person, an adult person, blindfolding them and kicking them off a plane in Cleveland or something. Nothing in Cleveland, but if you're not from Cleveland,
Yeah, right.
you're like, what the hell? So anyway, so it's just not appropriate to relocate cats for the sake of relocating cats. So if there is a cat colony that needs to be in TNR, we'll TNR. And what happens is we go in, we'll TNR cats, say there's 20 cats, 6 of them are going to be friendly enough for adoption. So, you know, oftentimes there's kittens too. Those kittens tend to